the postseason? Serious business.
Slapping my arm.
This is the battle for October. We're turning it up a notch.
I got donuts.
This is the postseason. We are in it to win it.
Coming at you.
In the pennant chase, every player wants to be the key piece to the puzzle. Now we debate which team has all the pieces in place. There's a lot more to it than you think.
Challenge all things baseball with MLB Now. Weekdays 4 Eastern.
Back on MLB Tonight, presented by Evan Williams Bourbon, as Justin Verlander will get set to go in Game 1 for this Houston Astros team that has just been dominant in terms of run prevention from start to finish this season. The defense, and of course that bullpen, led by Ryan Presley, who had some time to chat with Lauren Gardner.
What has Justin Verlander meant in terms of leadership to this staff?
Yeah, I mean, you know, JB's been around a long time, you know, and he's one of the hardest workers I've seen. That guy comes to the field wanting to get better every day, and when he does come to the field on his start day, it's pretty impressive to watch. And I think a lot of guys watch that and watch how he goes about his day. And obviously, you know, I don't think there's not a person in this clubhouse that doesn't want to be a Hall of Famer. Obviously, like, the things aren't going to happen the way we all want, but that guy is. And when you see the success that he has and how he goes about his day, you kind of want to mimic that and add it to your routine because you see how much success he's having. So he's a big part of having him in the clubhouse, and he rubs off on a lot of people in a good way.
What did you add to your routine based on what you saw that he does?
Man, I think it's a little bit different for bullpen guys, but the mentality and how he attacks hitters and how he's not afraid to do what he's doing out there, you know, I can kind of take a little bit of that and just go attack hitters the way that he does, and like I said, you're going to have success.
I really look better off camera.
And Presley, as usual, has looked absolutely nasty in the postseason so far. How's his skipper, Dusty Baker, doing? We'll hear from him next on MLB Tonight.
Life has never felt so expensive. So why is Omar snoozing like a baby? Because he made the smart choice to shop with IKEA. Jamie hasn't stopped dancing since she left the store. With IKEA, you're caring for your wallet and each other and your guests and the planet. Now you can afford even more with new benefits for IKEA family members, including 5% off all eligible purchases in store. Every visit, every day. IKEA.
Make this worth your while, Peloton.
All the classes and endless motivation to keep you coming back. That's why 91% of households that join Peloton are still active 12 months later. Motivation that moves you. Rent the Peloton Bike or Bike Plus. Terms apply.
I'm Dr. Ken, and this is a heating pad for pain relief, except this bad boy will keep you leashed up here like a dog. But Thermacare heat wraps won't. They're hot, discreet, and ready to go anywhere. Unlike someone else I know.
You've got your grooming routine down, but you're not done until you take it to the max. MicroTouch Titanium Max. The all-new micro precision trimmer that goes where no other grooming tool can to finish your look. With micro-oscillating German stainless steel blades bonded with titanium.
It's incredible. It's the difference between having a good groom and then taking it to a great groom.
Eliminate that unibrow, easily remove ear hair, and nose hair gone. Snap on the comb to tame bushy eyebrows in seconds and touch up mustaches, beards, and sideburns fast. No nicks, cuts, or irritation.
If you're not finishing your groom with Titanium Max, you're not grooming.
Get yours now at titaniummax.com for only $14.99 or call 1-800-337-4549.
The Titanium Max is the way. It's the best trimmer I've ever used.
MicroTouch Titanium Max, the finisher for the ultimate groom.
Beautiful day in Baltimore, where most people will probably know that Geico could save them money on car insurance, right? But you see, the thing is, Geico, well, could help them save on boat insurance too.
Oi! Okay, I'm ready to come in now. Hello?
I'm trying my best.
Seriously, I'm serious. Request to come ashore.
Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance.
Why pay over $100 a month for cable when it's half the cost for Fubo TV?
Get all the channels you want with all the entertainment you love for the price that cable can't beat. Try free at FuboTV.com.
It's the Subway Series menu. 12 irresistible subs. The most epic sandwich roster ever created. It's Subway's biggest refresh yet.
Join Kevin Millar and Steven Nelson on a quest for legends worthy of the sacred prize. It's unpredictable coverage that will have you on the edge of your seat. Join the adventure on Intentional Talk, only on MLB Network.
Back on MLB tonight at Media Day, approaching Game 1 of the World Series with the Phillies taking on Dusty Baker's Houston Astros. Back in the World Series yet again, and as you can see, it's a list that he will happily like to cross his name off of at some point. Most wins without a World Series title. He's got a great shot. Let's hear what he had to say about it.
Another World Series. Great to see you. We'll start with Brian McTaggart on your left.
Hey, Dusty, do you know how your rotation will line up after Verlander tomorrow?
Yeah, we got an idea. But we just gotta, I'll let you know tomorrow.
We'll go to Chandler on your left.
Dusty, do you remember the first time you met Bryce Harper and just what that was like managing him, and what have you thought of kind of his ascension into what he's become?
Well, I mean, Bryce was, he was pretty easy to manage. He was a young player. I had been told about him from Matt Williams that I got Matt's graces for me to take over for his job, and I asked him about different players. And, he's a tremendous player. He's been in the spotlight for a long, long time. Having to like him a lot on the field and off the field, and very impressed with his dedication to people and to life. And he came to see me when they were here playing that last series. I got a knock on my door, and it was Bryce, and we had a good, great conversation. Comes from good family, mom and dad, and he's a force to deal with. We had a couple run-ins like you always do at some point in time, but he actually thanked me for those times. And like I said, I got a lot of respect for him.
We'll go to Brian in the third row on your left.
Dusty, you mentioned after you guys clinched in New York at Yankee Stadium the spiritual togetherness of the city, Houston, and this team. And through all your years, you'd never seen a city so close to the players, so close to a team before. Why do you think that is? I mean, obviously, part of it is because of what this team went through in 20 and everything that followed that. But could you just expound on that a little, the spiritual togetherness, the connection between the team and the city?
Well, I mean, you can sort of tell, like guys are going to the plate, they're waving to certain fans, certain kids that they've seen for years that are now young men. I watch Maldi, I watch, Verlander interact with some of the kids, especially like Jose. And it rivals anywhere I've been. I mean, LA was great, but LA had a lot of people from all over. We'd be playing the Cubs, and there'd be Kingman hit 3 home runs, and there'd be 20,000 people from Chicago, or we played the Mets. But San Francisco was probably closer, to this, with most people from San Francisco were from there. Where this is different, where a lot of people from here are from here, but there are a lot of people that have moved here, moved to Texas, and they've all sort of dropped whatever team they were rooting for and seemed to be Astros fan. I mean, you go around the city, go to restaurants, or wherever you go, people are excited about us.
We'll go to Steve up front on your right, Dusty.
Congratulations, Dusty, being here again. I'd like to ask you, I know you're asked this every time, but what would it mean to you to manage a World Series champion?
Well, that's why I'm here. And that's why I glad that Jim Crane brought me back here. and also to a place that, because most places I've been, I've had to sort of rebuild the team, but this team was sort of built already, and I had to, carry on and try to enhance what we already have here. And I don't know. I'm just a ball player that's trying to play ball and trying to win. I love to win, and I've always said if I win one, I win two. So you got to win one first, and then we'll work on number two at that time.
And can I ask you your relationship, if there is one, with Rob Thompson? Have you interacted with him over the years? And what do you think about a guy who takes over at a very low point and has brought his team back to this spot?
Well, I don't really know Rob. He called me to congratulate me. When we clinched, but I've heard nothing but good things about him from various people, that have known him, especially people in New York. And, I just got through talking to, I don't know which one is older, but the real Robbie Thompson played for me in San Francisco. And I just got off the phone with Robbie. And so, he comes from a good namesake. And, it hadn't happened very often when you take over in the middle. And the last guy that I know personally that did that was Cito Gaston, that took over in Toronto. That you rarely hear his name. That won 2 years in a row, and one of my guys that took care of me from the day that I started in pro ball.
Coming back soon. All right, that's Dusty Baker, Houston Astros, hosting the Philadelphia Phillies for games 1 and 2 of the World Series, as we'll swing back with David Robertson of the Philadelphia Phillies joining Harold and myself next.
Infinite game speed pitches, work on timing, pitch recognition, and get more hits. Train new school. Hit old school. Be ready for real. Win reality.
One, two, three, check, check. Expectativa para estos problemas. La misma que la tuya. Vamos acá.
Today's guest, we have Aubrey Plaza. This is the best day of my life. Last two, best two.
Que nunca me rindiera, que mis sueños, que lo que yo quisiera lo pueda lograr. Y
si tú tienes en tu corazón sembrar deporte en alguien, puede cambiar la vida a quien sea.
Covering the postseason? Serious business.
I'm clapping my arms.
This is the battle for October. We're turning it up a notch. I got donuts.
This is the postseason. We are in it to win it.
Coming at you.
History has been written, and the numbers are in the books. Now, who are the best of the best? Baseball's award season starts right here on MLB Network. Who will win? Find out exclusively beginning November 7th.
Welcome back to MLB Tonight Media Day coverage presented by Evan Williams Bourbon and Harold Reynolds, along with Scotty Braun and a guest joining us in a minute. Here's how I'll get into it, Harold. So you can have some fun reminiscing with David Robertson when we're like watching a commercial with World Baseball Classic. He was like, I was there. Now we're going to the World Series appearances for the Philadelphia Phillies. 2009, they fall to the Yankees. Who was there? Who was on that team?
Oh, he was there.
Derek Jeter was on there.
Who else?
I snuck onto that roster. Yeah, I pitched in a couple of those games.
Oh, holy
That's what I'm
smokes.
talking
You were
about.
on the 09 team?
Yeah, it was just a few years ago.
My goodness, you've had a long, great career. Amazing.
Good
I
to
used
see
to
you.
talk to him about Alabama football.
Yeah.
So we won't even get into that because this occasion, you're in the World Series, man.
That's right. It's a big deal.
Congrats. You can't leave me hanging.
I'm sorry.
It's all good.
No, I'm excited about it. You go to the postseason a lot, but it's hard to get here. I mean, everybody wants to be here, and these teams are tough to beat this time.
We've heard from so many different people. I want your take, since you've been, obviously we documented, you won a World Series in 09, you've been on playoff teams with the Yankees, and wherever you've gone, you've been on playoff teams. When did it click for this club? You said, man, we got a shot of being in the World Series.
I think the moment we got into the playoffs, I mean, once we knew we were in and we were going to get an opportunity,
we had a chance. I mean, this group's relentless and knows what they're doing in between the lines. They play really hard together, and we knew all we had to do was get in.
Yeah. That's the key.
What did you know about this team before you joined them, like during this season? What were your thoughts on the Phillies, and how much has that changed once you've joined them? And I'm talking, I mean, you can talk personalities, but also even just the performance of, the rep of the Phillies and then what you've actually seen since joining this ball club. And some of that's changed, right? Like the defense has improved, the bullpen's obviously improved a ton as well.
Yeah, a lot of things have changed. I mean, I started out half the season with the Cubs and then got moved over here, but I knew a lot of the faces, a lot of the guys in this clubhouse when I came over. A few of them were new, but I mean, you look at the sheet and I'm like, man, I played against a lot of these guys. They're gross. It's just there's not firing right now. After the trade deadline and we get moved over here, it seemed like everything just started to click for this club. We started to do everything right. Guys were filling holes that we were having, whether it be in the lineup or in the bullpen. We just started to put things together and go on runs. And once we got started, we were able to get here.
You were putting together such a tremendous year in Chicago. Your name was everywhere. So when you're seeing your name everywhere and you know you're going to get moved eventually, do you start looking at, man, I hope it's that team, not that one? How's that process happen for you?
I mean, I was...
You can tell us you're rooting for trades.
No, I didn't.
I want to go here. Let's skip this spot.
I didn't have any choice in where I was traded. But I will say, when I got traded to Philly, I had a nice little fist pump in the clothes. I was like, yes, I know where I'm going. I've been there before. I know how to drive into the ballpark. I just played this team. I know some of the guys. It's going to work. It's a good fit.
Yeah, no, that's obviously a nice feel for you. So I've also watched you change your assortment of pitches quite a bit. You've really continued to add to your repertoire, take some things away. What are we seeing now from David Robertson? Where are you at in your stage of adjustments?
I'm just trying to throw I'm trying to make every pitch really good. I've switched in and out from throwing changeups and different kinds of curveballs and different kinds of sliders and the straight fastball, the cut fastball. I'm just trying to throw whatever I can throw in the strike zone that's my best on that day. Sometimes you'll see me throw a lot of breaking balls. Sometimes I won't throw any. It just depends on how I'm feeling that day.
And the roles changed, too, for you. You've been a closer. You knew exactly when you were getting in the game, when you close games down. You've come early in the games. You've been all over the place. How do you know when to get ready and how long it takes you to get ready?
I just try to be ready for every situation. I know that, more than likely it's going to be from the fifth on that I'm going to be putting into the game. So I am ready to go at that point. I'll be ready to go from the second inning on here. I'll pitch whenever they ask me to. We got to get the outs to win.
Yeah, no doubt.
And David, I'll give you credit too. I mean, I know you hurt the calf during the wild. Hey, got to bring it up because I'm covering the ball club for the DS. You hurt it with
you got injured
the celebration. But wait, then he comes back around later. So because there was a time where we get the news, I'm covering the Phillies for the division series, and we're like, whoa, they're without David Robertson. They're like, yeah, we don't know if he'll come back for the playoffs. And look, you're back in the CS and now in the World Series.
I've had some really good treatment, so I've been able to get back. It's embarrassing to say it. I just went to jump up and give Kyle Gibson a high five when Bryce hit a homer, and just the calf let me down.
Oh my God!
Yeah, but you don't want to change a thing now because look where you are.
I know. I mean, listen, hey, they didn't need me for the Braves series, and we're going fine now. So I'm excited to be back. I feel healthy. I feel good, and thankfully it didn't sideline me for the whole postseason.
Well, with your assortment of experience, we kind of touched on that. This ballpark, you've been here many a time, so I'm sure in your pitchers meetings, you guys may talk about how to attack guys. What do you see different in this ballpark compared to maybe even in Philly?
You get the short porch here and left. That's the biggest thing. I think trying not to leave too many hanging breaking balls. I know when you throw a breaking ball, you want it really tight. You want it down in the zone because if they can reach out and get it, they can put it up there in the Crawford box.
Is it similar to Fenway?
Yeah, it is similar to Fenway, except for this wall is a lot shorter than there. You give up a lot of those line drives.
You tell those guys don't look around.
Yeah,
it looks close out there.
Exactly. You don't mind giving up a line drive off the wall in Fenway because you're like, that's a single.
Yeah.
But here, you never know what can happen if they hit one off that wall over there. Ball kicks kind of funny. It's a
do you pitch according to the ballpark? Depending on where you might be playing at.
I think you pitch more according to the player. You just got to make the pitch of. When you need to try to get that guy out.
All right. So let's finish with your scouting report on the Houston Astros. When you're looking over video, what do you see?
You got to make a lot of good pitches. They got a good lineup. They're relentless too. So try to be tough and make quality pitches one after another and get outs and moving on to the next guy.
Mm-hmm. Hey, good to see you. Good luck. We're excited for game one. Appreciate it.
Brother. Thank you, man.
David
Appreciate
Robertson
you.
with
Don't
us.
jump up and down. Just, you guys win.
Yeah.
Just stay on the ground.
Stay
please.
calm. Right. I love it. Hey, coming up next on MLB Tonight, we're going to hear from his teammate Aaron Nola swinging by. Right now, a little StatCast powered by Google Cloud. Here's Nola's chase percentage on curveballs, which includes the postseason. Nola and Presley on this list. Super impressive with the repertoire, and Nola's going to get that game one start against Justin Verlander. We'll hear from Aaron Nola in just a moment.
All right, thanks, guys.
If you think the World Series is intense,
Why would you sit there and get them all agitated? That's the last thing you want to do.
wait till you hear what the Mad Dog has to say. High Heat on MLB Network.
Back on MLB Tonight as we check out a Game 1 Phillies-Astros matchup on Fox. Of course, all the games on there and all with the same start time, 8:03 Eastern. And this guy next to us is going to be ready. Reese Hoskins joining Harold and myself. Reese, good to see you, man. How's
I was
life?
going to let Reese hold the mic, but I was afraid he might throw that thing down.
Well, he's got a few moves now. You got the slam, the kind of the helicopter, right? What's your favorite?
The hitting the homer is my favorite.
That's a good call.
Anything that happens after that is just happens.
So how many people have commented on the bat slam, though? It was epic. We're going to see that forever in sports history.
And it was raw. As you talked to Master, it's not like it was
How many people
coordinated.
have texted you or talked to you about that?
Yeah, a lot. I think some of the cooler things have been, people tagging me on video or in videos on Twitter or Instagram of little kids doing it in the backyard off the tee or, in their t-ball game, that type of thing. So
How often you got to see this?
I can't tell you how many times I've seen it. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, just look at all the reactions in the background, right? Like,
well, you know what I took out of this when this happened, though? You're the most senior player on this team in Philly. You've been through the ups, the downs, and everything else. And that was really a signature moment. Like, we're on our way. That's what I got out of that. What was your reaction? Was it what I was saying here?
No, and it was so pent up, right? Like,
See,
it
that was good.
The first playoff game in Philly in 11 years, and you could feel the crowd just waiting on the edge of their seat. And then you couple that with obviously an intentional walk right in front of me, and the moment was set up. I'm just happy I was able to not miss the pitch in the middle.
You're gonna walk somebody in front of me.
Him to get to me. That's what we say to each other in the clubhouse.
Do you do some guys? They call it dig me video, where they'll have like a little highlight run, maybe before the game or day before the game, something like that. Do you have a little go-to clip? Is that one of them? Obviously,
it will be now. Yeah, of course. And especially on the hitting side, if any hitter tells you they don't, they're lying. It's too hard. You gotta celebrate the successes that you have at the plate. And I think especially if it's off a guy that you might see that night, you're 100% watching what you've done well against them.
So let's talk ballpark here in Houston. You had a workout. How'd you take the infield dirt? What did you think about the left field wall? What were your takeaways and your impressions?
So our last series was here, and that was my first time here. So still not a ton of repetition here in this park. The dirt was a little soft. It was a little wet. I'm assuming just because the roof's open. I was hoping that it would be closed just so we get a little better
feel for tomorrow,
idea of what things sound like, what balls hit well sound like off the bat, that type of thing. Beautiful ballpark. It was loud the last time we were here. I'm assuming it's going to be a little bit louder. But, yeah, I think those Crawford boxes are calling a couple of our names.
Yeah, but the beauty of that, I remember the first time I went to Fenway to play, it was like, oh, man, I'd put every ball over the monster. But your ballpark in Philly lends to you knowing that, hey, I can still keep my true swing. And that's very similar to here. I think that helps you.
Well, I think, obviously, the Crawford boxes are right there. They're almost staring at you, yelling at you.
Yeah.
But, right field, too, with the short wall here, I know it doesn't carry maybe as well, but the short wall, it's not super far out there. That should give, at least as a right-handed hitter, us all the confidence in the world that we don't have to really get out there and yank.
How often do you face Verlander? You seen him much?
This will be my first time I faced him not in spring training.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe spring training gives you a little tip and get a chance to see him a little bit. But
I'm excited. I'm a competitor, you know, like this guy is going to be one of the best of my generation of baseball players to toe the rubber. He's obviously done it before on this stage, but to be the best, you got to beat him, and I can't wait to compete against him.
Yeah, you know, I've also heard, and of course you mentioned it's going to be loud here, but I've heard actually a lot of Philly fans are going to travel over here. I mean, some of my friends even that I've spoken to that live in the area are like, hey, tough to get a ticket in Philly. I'm going to Houston. I could buy a plane ticket. I can come here, secondary ticket market, and kind of even it out because, hey, it's a really hot ticket in Philly just because they haven't been there in a while. So have you heard from any family, friends that are going to show up here in Houston?
I have. I'll have a group here. We have some friends that we've made back in Philly that they're going to try to, if not be at the game, they're at least going to be here just to kind of take in all the atmosphere, which I think it just says everything you need to know about Philly as a sports town, right? Like, we're here and they're here right with us because they want to be. They live for it.
Last question. So what has Philly taught you as a player? I remember the first time I started to go play baseball on the East Coast, I was like, man, these people are into it, and you have to lock in every day. So I'm wondering, as a player who plays in Philly, you always hear the negative, oh, the fans are this and that. It also makes you better. I'm just curious what that's done for you.
Yeah, I've learned, and I learned quickly that the mistakes are going to happen. And it's not, sure, fans do not want to see mistakes. They don't like that. I don't like it either. But the most important thing that I've learned is that as long as you pick yourself back up and keep moving forward because the next one's coming, that's really all they want, and they appreciate that. Just the ability to get back up after getting knocked down is something that resonates with the people of Philly, I'm sure all over, but more so in Philly, and I think we've seen that kind of in this playoffs too.
We've known this guy for a long time, Harold. I mean, right off the jump, rookie year, he's joining us on shows, always great with us. How fired up does Reese Hoskins look right now?
Oh, he's ready, man. He's got the game
excitement level is up.
I'm excited for him.
The countdown is on. Reese, great to see you as always. Good luck. We'll see you tomorrow, right?
Thank you, big man.
Cheers. Appreciate you. And your teammate Aaron Nola is going to join us next when we swing back on MLB Tonight, live from Houston at Media Day.
Okay, we'd open with creaky footsteps. Scary.
Even me, baby. I'm playing Tetris so much, I'm going cross-eyed.
It's no-nonsense analysis straight from the source.
Scotty knows.
I got donuts.
This time of year, we bring our game faces to work.
Whoa, coming at you.
When we're on that couch, we are locked in.
Start flapping my arms.
So, Harold, the last time the Houston Astros lost, it's a long time ago, and that was against Game 1 starter, Aaron Nola. That was the game where the Phillies clinched a postseason spot, 6 2/3 shutout, 9 strikeouts. Things worked out pretty well for him and the Phils in that one, and now this one means a little more. Game 1 of the World Series against Verlander.
I'm excited to see the adjustments that the Astros have to make. And Justin Verlander, I know the last outing he came back a little bit to himself. The first outing in Seattle with that long layoff, it didn't bode very well for him. But he's on a little, 4 days rest instead of 5 on this one. So we'll see how he comes back, too. I'm looking for an exciting pitching matchup.
And a well-rested Aaron Nola speaking at the podium.
Your old friend, Coach Buddy, and how do you feel about having the responsibility of opening probably one of the most important games in Philly's recent baseball history?
Yeah, it's pretty cool to be able to face off against Bregman at this point of the season and the World Series. He's had such a good career over here with the Astros, and such a good ball player, and I know him really well, and he's pretty much the same guy as when I first met him. So super happy for him, and definitely pretty cool to be able to compete against him. But for us, it's awesome as well to be in this position. It's great for our team, the organization, and the fan base to be in this position right now and have a chance to a world title. So it's pretty special.
questions for him? We'll go to Matt in the back on her. In the last row.
Hey, Aaron. Is there any advantage or disadvantage that you did face this team less than a month ago? You got to pitch in this ballpark. I know the circumstances were very different. Does that help or hurt in this situation?
I guess we'll find out, but it's nice to be able to pitch on this mound for the first time, the last time we were here, just to kind of get a feel for it and know how it holds up. So I think that's an advantage to that part. But I mean, obviously, like you said, it's a different stage of when the last time we played here. It's a good.
The world is watching and stuff like that. Do you think your personality and demeanor is perfect for this situation, not getting too up or you stay even keeled?
For myself, yeah, it's a big stage and it's a World Series, but it's just another game when we step out on that field. And that's all I try to focus on is to make pitches when I need to and focus every single pitch. I can't control the results that happen, and the only thing I can control is my body on the mound and my emotions and, where that pitch is going. So that's kind of how I keep my focus in line and my emotions in check.
Steve in the second row on your right.
Congratulations on making it here.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you, when Rob took over, did he stabilize things? I mean, things were not at a good spot at that point. That's why you changed managers. And did he stabilize things? What did he do to get things on an even keel? Because obviously they weren't when he took over.
I mean, if anybody knows Rob, he's the most even keel guy out there. He never gets too up. He never gets too down. And I feel like that's our team. And when we had our struggles and we were losing a little bit, everybody always believed that we were going to turn it around, and we did. And we're at this point now, and when we were winning, it's the reality of the game. Anything can happen, and I think everybody in that clubhouse knew that, and we just had to keep pushing. And to me, I think we saw that the first game of the wild card. We never gave up in that ninth inning, that whole game, and it pushed us to here.
Is he the perfect person for that situation you were in? Do you feel he was like the perfect for this team?
Yeah, I believe so. He, like I said, he's super even keeled, and I think it shows. It shows with our team.
5 rows back on your left.
Aaron, have you spoken to Austin yet? He said after the LCS clincher he was going to take some time before he reached out.
Yeah, I talked to him the other day. Yeah, he congratulated me. He said he was sorry we didn't talk after the game. He was pretty upset, which I get, right? I understand. I think everybody would be. And I'm super happy for him. He had a great season and a great postseason, and obviously tough for them. And I'm just glad he stayed healthy through the whole season.
And is he going to be here?
Sanola's back in this ballpark for game one. His teammates working out earlier today, including, I see you, Bryce Harper in the back there, and he'll join us next on MLB Tonight. What does Bryce have to say about World Series game one?